It's Spees. So, BlizzCon was just last weekend, and World of Warcraft announced the next three expansions. But we're going to look at the next expansion that's going to come out next year, 2024. World of Warcraft: The War Within, where we have to go inside the planet Azeroth and fight evils coming out from the underground kingdoms. And guess what? I bet the War Within is also going to double as some inner conflict some characters are having, Anduin, Illyria, and such. But let's look at what's new. The last video I did talked about the lore. This one we're going to talk about what's coming in the next expansion, because every expansion has its own thing. So let's see what's coming. Now, first off, just like every expansion, it's going to come with 8 new dungeons, a new raid, 4 new zones to explore, yada yada yada. The normal stuff. The level cap's going to be raised 10 levels again. The normal stuff. But what is going to be special in The War Within? So, first off, they're introducing a new system that's in the outdoor world called Delves. Now, these are little adventures you can find out in the world. They don't have like a load zone or anything. You just kind of find these adventures out in the world. And you can do them solo or up to 5 people. And the whole idea is they're kind of like there's 12 different ones to find. They each have their own little story. Um, you bring an NPC with you, and he'll level up. And if you're going solo, he can be your healer, he can be your tank. And the NPC that's going to come the first time around is Bronzebeard here for season 1. And you do these stories, and the whole idea behind them, it's kind of like it says shaped by the lessons they learned from Torghast Island expedition scenarios way back in Mist and Pandaria. So this is like their big thing from all those lessons they learned from those things. They're supposed to be 10 to 15 minutes adventures. You unravel mysteries, seek out treasures, and it has like seasonal rewards too. And you can get gear from them. Um, the whole idea is after you finish them, you'll at the end of them you'll come to a treasure room, get some gold, currency, cosmetics, and then there might be a big chest in there that you need a big key that you might have found in delves or delves before or out in the world, and that can get you gear, probably like I would guess normal level raid gear at the most. Um, so I do like how they're trying to add some more events out in the world. A little bit bigger than going out and killing rares or doing this like finding just like an item, a treasure chest out in the world. They're just trying to make it a little bit more grand. It seems like as you do them again, you can make them harder. Like you can start off in normal delves, maybe work your way up to heroic delves, possibly mythic delves. Um, but we'll see. Um, and this is supposed to be something for more of the solo player, or maybe just a group of friends that can't commit to a raid team. So they can just go out and find these delves out in the world, and it's a new way to um, get gear, because not only can you get some gear from doing the delves themselves, they're changing the Great Vault. So normally you got a row of gear you get from doing raids, a row of gear you get in doing dungeons, but they're taking the PvP row off and adding the open world row. And you fill it up by doing delves or maybe doing events out in the world, killing rare mobs. And they even said that depending of how hard of um, world uh, the world events and delves you do, you might even get up to heroic level gear. So if you're a player that can't really commit to doing Mythic Plus as a group, or doing raids, this is another way to earn gear and feel like you are progressing your gear of your character. Now, if you're wondering where the PvP uh, row is going, what they're doing is they're taking it off here. So if you're a PvPer, you don't feel like you have to pick between a really good PvE piece of gear or that really good PvP gear. So they're just making this the way that PvEers get gear, and they're going to compensate PvPers by just giving them more conquests. And I'm sure they'll um, explain the exact levels of conquest, but I think that's a good idea to take PvP off the Great Vault. And you just get some cool hats. Here's some of the cosmetics you can get for doing delves: candle hats, mushroom hats. You can also get a players who take part in delves can unlock a new cosmetic cosmetic customizable flying mount. So it's like this kind of airplane looking thing you can add as you do delve, as you can find these other pieces and you can change it out. Kind of like how you can change the cosmetics on the dragon riding mounts. So delves are the first thing, and we'll see how it plays out. Torghast, the islands, Warfronts from BFA, they were touted as here's this cool thing for these expansions, and they kind of fell flat as the expansions came out. Kind of got monotonous, repetitive, just not fun. So hope that doesn't happen with delves, but we'll see. Now the next thing they're adding is warbands. In summary, warbands are just like account-wide everything. So the whole idea is you make a warband of all your different alts, and this is like the new loading screen now. It just shows your characters like standing around a campfire, and you can add which characters you want to your warband. You probably just want to add them all together, and then they share gold, reputations. They have their own bank slot, and if one character gets something, they can add it to the bank. So instead of being like, oh, I keep all my consumables on this character, and this character holds all, the mining materials, you can just have this huge bank now. Kind of like a guild bank where you can see there's tabs on the side where you can get more and more of these tabs. Now, instead of having every character having their own bank, you just have one huge bank. And also, they all will share reagents that you collect. So if one character is your herbalist and he picks herbs, and then you make another new character that's an inscription, he'll have access to that other character's herbs. In fact, because all your herbs are now together in this one giant reagent bank. And transmogs will be shared across them. So if you're on a mage, cloth wearer, and you go into a dungeon or an old raid, and like plate drops, mail drops, leather drops normally because you can't wear those pieces of equipment, you didn't get that transmog. Well, doesn't matter now. It's all account wide. The mage will collect the plate appearance for your warband. Flight path is shared. Now, no longer every character has to go around themselves, collect the flight path, achievements, the leveling up between. It says here the delves, like as you level up Bronzebeard, it will be level up throughout your account. You don't have to level it up again between every character. And there was one thing I'm forgetting here that was really important. Transmog. Oh, there's a new piece of gear called Warbound items that say if you're doing a Mythic Plus dungeon on a mage, and you complete the dungeon, the normal gear will drop, but you have like this bonus roll in the background that you just might get a piece of gear that's like, here's a male piece of gear, and it's Warbound instead of Soulbound, it's Warbound. Now, your mage can't use male, but what he can do is he can put it in your shared bank, and then another one of your other characters who's the male user can then pull it out of the bank and then equip it. At that point, it'll become soulbound. Um, so, as you're playing any character, they have a chance to drop these warbound gear. That's just a random piece of gear that's normally in the dungeon for another armor type. Now, it will be the lower item level than what you're doing. So, if you're doing, say, Heroic Raid, and you get a Warbound item bonus loot, it'll probably be like normal level gear. Same in like if you're doing Mythic 15, and it won't drop as Mythic plus 15 gear, might drop as like Mythic plus 8 gear. But hey, it's just free gear that you can help gear up alts as they're coming up. It's not supposed to be a way to help funnel gear to your main. It's just a bonus to help gear up your alts. Very, very alt friendly. Just know, hey, this is what players have wanted forever, especially the account wide reputations. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but Warband, the reputations you gain. So if your main character gets to like, um, friendly with the rep, all your characters are friendly. Or if they keep the renown system and he hits level 14 renown, all your characters have the level 14 renown. Thank Jesus, but Jesus, for this. Alright, and they're adding what are called hero talents. This is basically how they're going to add more talent points to everyone. Instead of just adding like more talents at the bottom of the tree like they used to do back in the Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, and giving you like 10 more talent points, it's too hard to balance it around. So what they're going to do is in the middle of your talent tree, you'll have these new talents. So say if you're a druid, you get your druid class tree on the left, your balance on the right. In the middle, you can pick one of two specs, and it depends on your spec, what choices your two hero talents are. And it says here for a balanced druid, they can choose either between Keeper of the Grove or Loons Chosen. And then what happens is you level to 70, you'll eventually get enough points to unlock everything. There's a few choice nodes along the way, so you can always have a choice of do I want this or that. And you can freely switch between these as you can do talents now. And, save your loadout and all that. I think this is an elegant way to continue on the talent system. It always gets unwieldy to just add more talents at the bottom of the trees and give you more points. It gets impossible to balance. So to put off a new little thing off to the side, just put your 10 talent points into it, and the choices come between do you want hero talent A, hero talent B, and then what choice nodes you pick between the two. Solves the problem of how to add more talent points without it being a balancing nightmare. New allied race, the Earthens, crystal dwarves. These kind of like Pandarians. After you level them up, you either choose if you want to be Horde or Alliance. But even the females can have glorious beards. Look at that. The dynamic flight. So dragon riding is becoming, I don't want to say the new norm, but yes, dragon riding is coming to not all mounts, but a good chunk of the mounts. And I'm sure if your favorite mount doesn't become a new dynamic flight mount, they're working on it. But tonight, dragon riding is here to stay. The talent system for dragon riding is probably going away. Maybe some of those talents will only work in the Dragon Isles, and some of the talents are just going to become new baseline. But dragon riding is basically going to come to all zones, the new zones, the old world zones by the end of Dragonflight. So if you like the dragon riding, and who doesn't, it is here to stay. But also, if for some reason you want to fly the old way, you just want to point your character in the direction they go and start flying there so you can run to the bathroom. You can toggle the old, the Burning Crusade style of flight. Um, that won't be unlocked right away as the expansion drops, but as you get to max level, you'll be able to unlock that. So you can actually do both flying. Dragon riding if you want to get there quickly and control it more, have more control, or if you want to do the slower, but you can just point in the direction you want and just lean back in your chair and read something on your second monitor. That's here to stay. A new battleground's coming for your PvPers. They're updating the interface, especially the spell book, to make it not the same spell book that has been in the game for almost 20 years. They're going to be able to fit more spells on a screen to accommodate the bigger screens players have compared to 20 years ago. Also, cross-realm guilds. They have cross-faction guilds now. Now you can have characters from different realms, and they're also going to open up mythic rating to cross-realms from the get-go. No more you gotta wait for the Hall of Fame. So it doesn't matter where your friends are. It doesn't matter what faction they are. They can all be in your guild, and you can all raid together on Mythic. So all in all, these are a lot of um, very good stuff that players like. Dragon riding coming forward. Um, cross-realm guilds, cross-realm mythic rating. With the Warbands, account-wide everything. Um, Improving on the talent system that was introduced in Dragonflight. The only thing they didn't really talk about is if they're going to do any changes to Mythic Plus and rating. Um, we have had the same Mythic Plus and rating size since WoD for rating. Mythic Plus has been around since Legion. It's over 10 years or almost 10 years coming on for Mythic Plus. It just kind of needs a shake up, and the fact that they didn't announce any kind of shake up, please, for the love of God, Blizzard, just retire Tyrannical and Fortified for just one season. Just see what happens. But all in all, I'm excited for the next expansion, and I can't wait for the alpha to come out, and I hope to see you in the game. Thanks everyone for watching. See you next time.